Let us discuss your failures.
Hey guys, Flying Wine here again, and today I'm going to be reviewing Rhine Vod on Dorado, Silver rank. We're going to be watching Marius. Hope I'm saying that right. And so, yeah, we'll check it out, see how they do. So, I don't. Oh, that's really loud. Alright, one sec. Let's put that down. So, we're seeing Farah Mercy on our team with a Zen Tracer and then double shield. So you can't, it's hard to dictate, especially at lower ranks, what other people will play and explaining to them like what you want. You can ask for it, but right here this is very low healing, especially with a Farah. So like Mercies are almost exclusively going to pocket their Farah and not going to look at your tanks. You have so that means you're just going to have Zen Orb for healing. So as a Rhine, you can't really get in there. If you're trying to just force Rhine, as in I'm going to play Rhine, nothing else, then do what you want to do, because yeah, you could do, you can climb with that, but know that you are not going to get healing. So like me, I would be thinking I should play Hog because one, I can combo with my Orisa, and two, I'll have my own self heal. So that's just something you might want to think about. But if you can't play Hog, like I used to suck at Hog. Like I could not hit a hook to save my life, so I would never play it, even if it was like that. So I understand, like if you can't play it, you have to play what you can and try to work with that. So you have to play a little more safe. You can't go with these heals unless the Mercy does. Like I don't know, a Silver Mercy. I don't know. Either she's gonna hard pocket her Farah and never look at you, or she's gonna hard pocket you and never look at her Farah. I highly doubt she'll try to balance the two, the tanks and the thing. And so the other thing I would do is ask for, especially him switch to like a Moira or an Anna, just to pocket the tanks. And that means like the Tracer, if he could go like Hanzo or something like that, something to stay with you guys to help protect against flankers, instead of being a flanker himself, because you have the Farah. But we'll see. We'll see how it is, because, again, Silver, nothing too crazy. That's just how I would want to set up a team more with a pharmacy. So even though you don't know this, they'll have a Widow for the Farah Tracer, so she's going to be coming around the back. And then you're going to look out for the hooks, but they don't have a Orisa. They have a Rhine, so there's not going to be any halt hook, though I doubt it would happen even if they had the Orisa in Silver. And, yeah, got to watch out for antis and sleeps. So they have stuns that you have to watch out for. These two stuns right here. Okay. So here, with what you have, especially, I saw like we accidentally skipped ahead a little bit. You stood here. You want to stand on the high ground behind you with the Orisa, and basically it would be these three people on the high ground. Orisa shield down. You standing there, throwing a fire strike when you can. When her shield gets broken, you shield. The Zen will be shooting orbs left and right, and the Farah will be up here, going like that, and the Tracer flanking behind, shooting behind. So that's what you want to do until payload gets around here, and then you guys rotate to this choke and hold choke hard here. You just hold it hard, and just let your DPS kind of do most of the work. You, as Ryan, throwing fire strikes in when you can, but don't overextend, and really do not take much damage, because again, these two cannot heal you up fast. There's no burst healing here. That Mercy's trying to go with there, but she's not peeking at all.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Yeah, door strike is fine. There's a spot on the high ground where you can hit this door by just getting it through that alley and throw it there. So you just go up there and try to see if you can find this door from that edge. You'll be able to see it, and you can fire strike from there instead of here. It's safer. But again, an early fire strike is always good for early ult charge, but you got to know kind of where you can do it. Here is more dangerous. It's not the worst in the world, but it's a little more dangerous. Oh, we got it. So it's good. I thought it was a little early, but it was good. can't really say there. Your team, like, see, your team isn't here. You saw where your Orisa stood up, so you can't really hard here because you're alone. You're alone here, and so you're basically trying to 1v6 them. I assume the Tracer went away, but again, you don't know too much. 15 seconds hasn't gone by, so you, right now all you know is you hear Widow. You know they have Rein. You saw that, and you saw the Hog. So all you know is this, and this. So you don't know these two yet. Alright, so you're backing off, that's good. Especially around that corner. If you go around that corner, you can't. They can't help you. Alright. Hog is flanking. Yeah. So it seems like your team has now come up here with you. I see this at lower ranks. I mean, it can work. It's just really, like, you give up a huge advantage of that high ground and that choke for this, which they can flank you much more easily than if you were to hold that high ground and then rotate the choke. So it isn't, saying it's bad is not the right word, but it's not the most optimal for this map. But again, this is lower rank, so if your team were to hold here, standing at the choke back there alone while your whole team's fighting here would also not be correct move. You have to fight with your team. But I would suggest going high ground and then try to get your team to do that. So right now we just want to fire strike to build ult charge. We don't want to get hooked. And that's basically all we're doing. And try to supplement our Orisa shield. So I would, I guess, try to use your Orisa shield more than your shield to begin with, because her shield recharges as in her CD goes up while it's out, while yours does not recharge while it's out. So I would just, right now, since your Orisa is here, I would be using her shield more and just fire strike when you can. Kind of hold this hard cover, swing if anyone gets anywhere near. The Hog is, oh no, he's why did you get, so you're a little too far there. Counter charge. So you want to counter charge those. You don't want to get charged. I always hate seeing Rein's getting charged when they have this up. You want to counter charge so that you hit him and you both fall down. If you're in a good position, you'll always be closer to your team than he is to his team when you do it. So as long as you maintain your position well and he charges at you, you just charge back at him and you both hit each other and you both fall down. Your team is closer, so you're more likely to survive than he is. But here, see, he gets the charge off on you. He does 300 damage, gets that much ult charge. So you see the ult difference too. And I think you've been doing more with your fire strike and stuff like that. But because he lands that charge, he gets ahead of you. So yeah, you want to counter charge, like counter charge. So like, you could have prevented, I think, all of this with just one simple counter charge. So you're back up to this. I thought two of you died. Yeah, your Tracer died because didn't say she got shattered. So I don't know. Kind of, you have to wait for the res to do this, but let's see. You're down one right now. You gotta fall back. That was very low. Yeah, the only thing right now I would have said is that counter charge is definitely something you need to fix. Counter. I can't, so you dodge out of the way. Not a good slam. That was a nice fire strike. That fire strike went nowhere. So far, I like the aggression on that fight. The slam was good, and 2 fire strikes, 1 good, not so good. A miss there. You always want to be careful of the hook for Hog. I haven't seen you get caught out yet, but I don't know. Like, the Hog hasn't really been testing you either. You also definitely do not want to get your shield destroyed there. You definitely don't want your shield destroyed because the Hog can just hook you now. You always want to save some health on your shield. If your shield is getting pressured like that, the cart is back there, your Orissa's back there, you need to fall back to your Orissa. So you stood here for too long, so you're out of position because your shield is taking too much damage. And even though you did not get punished, that Hog could have just hooked you, pulled you in, and you would have just been dead. So, like, I agree this positioning is, in theory, good, in a sense. You are going too far, but you want to hold this choke here with your Orisa. But your Orisa is not coming up, so you need to go back to your Orisa. Doing the right thing alone is the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? So 6 people doing the wrong thing is still better than 6 people doing what they think is the right thing differently. You know what I'm saying? Like, you going out by yourself is wrong, no matter where it is, no matter what you're trying to do. It's almost always wrong, unless you're doing something big play that is going to involve your team and you communicate it. Right now, you are just out alone, a little past even farther than I would want, but in the general area of where I would want to hold, because right now you're going to get screwed. Again, I don't see why this Hog is not killing me. Kill the if you ulted. That's not a mercy. So, I wouldn't have shattered. I mean, you already won the fight, so now you don't have shatter for your fight. But enemy Ryan has shatter, so we want to block that. We should know that he has that, because it's been two-ish fights, if I can call that a fight. So you just gotta assume he has shatter, because you used shatter after he did and got it again. So you gotta assume he has it too. So a good way to understand before you can really ult track is if you're playing Ryan v Ryan, I have shatter, he probably has shatter. Just keep track of that. How many shatters have I had? I've had 2. He's only done 1. He probably has a second one. That's a good way to try to figure out if he has shatter or not. And it got picked off, so they switched. So that's also a good thing. So you've gotten a lot more healing. Going in with an ulting Genji is also the right move. It's just so weird because it's only you, and you guys were like facing 4 people, and you guys were going around corners away from your healing. So I think it got your Ana killed because you guys went out there because your Ana came out to try to heal you guys and got sniped. It's hard to tell because we can't see it, but I assume that's what happened. That you guys went way over here. Your Ana was back with your Orisa, way back there. She comes out, passes to try to heal you and gets sniped. So that's kind of like the things that happen when you go too far, is that you pull people into disadvantageous positions and can get killed and you don't even realize it. Your Genji's dead, by the way. He's dead. He's used dash. He's no thing. You need to go back to your team. And just because you don't know this, but Ryan's here. You holding here again. You're alone. I don't think your wrist is with you at all. Yeah. Again, that's not knowing who's alive. Your Ana's not there to heal you. He's got a team. So even you got to charge on him and did a lot of damage. Got ult charge. You ultimately fed. You just need to get back to your team and try to hold for your team's response to come back. So this is not keeping track of who's alive and who's dead and how much up or down we are. Because your Ana is probably now around where, like, halfway back to your Orisa. And if you're coming back, sure, this Ryan might throw a fire strike at you. The Moira might throw an orb at you, but you make it back to your team. Especially if you go around this corner, this choke and charge back, you make it back. You start taking poke damage, but your Ana comes back, you get healed up. Your Genji will be back right when the fight starts. So now you will be definitely disadvantaged. And I don't know what happens. Your wrist is dead now. I don't know. We don't know what happened there because we are not at all together. Reached the checkpoint too. Like there was no fight. I would just be stalling point. Using that. I mean, you can get your shatter, but I would not shatter. I would just stall point. Nope. Okay, you got a kill. Some things happened, but I would have much rather you just died on point. Because watch this. There's a thing in Overwatch. You do not want to lose the fight and lose the objective. By that, I mean you do not want to be losing the fight and have the objective moving at the same time. So here we're stalling point. Our Orisa definitely got bad spawn. Our Genji just died, so we are 4v6. But you just... Oh wait, let's go back a little farther here. We go to the line, we're even. Our Genji died, we're 4v6. We're down a tank, they're down a tank. They have spawn advantage though, so the Rein will be back before the Genji's back. So all I want to do is stall point. And that's all I want to do. So watch, instead of watching the fight, watch this. Because we lose fight, we know we lose fight. So let's just watch this. It's moving, it's moving, it's moving. We waste shatter, it's moving, it's moving, it's moving, it's moving. And we died. So it got this much payload movement when it could have just gotten this much, and we would have still, it would have been the exact same outcome, as in we die. So we could have kept the payload here, stalled payload, and then they move it. Instead, they moved it, and we died. It's like we're all back and forth. Genji got a pick, but they have spawn advantage. So like this is how like I feel like lower ranks go. One team wins until they lose spawn advantage, and then the other team starts winning because they have spawn advantage. So Genji died again. Tracer dies again. I do not want to go in because we are not going to win. They use 2 ults and they'll lose the winning fight, so that's good. But we definitely just fed 500 ult charge to that Rein. Though the shadow wasn't up yet, so whatever. It worked out for you, even though you definitely didn't plan it out like that. You just definitely need to group up, though. I would have just knocked on him. Genji feeds again. We need to stand on payload because so they don't get it. Again, we don't. They get point without us giving up a fight. Like the fight's already locked, so we just need to stall payload. Like right now, all I'm seeing is because as the main tank, you want to be the one like dictating fights. So maybe that's why like I'm talking about this because it feels like this is a team issue. But as the Rein, you are the one dictating fights, or you should be dictating fights. So where we stand, how hard we hold a position, and like when to fight, when we engage, when we don't. And so you need to stop the payload at certain points, at hard covers, like hard corners, and on losing fights, basically keep the payload not moving until you die, because you're going to be dead anyway. But again, they got the point in that fight. They got from the corner of right before second all the way up to almost halfway to third in one fight, when they could right now not even have second yet, because that's where we would have stood and held our ground, you and the Orisa. Especially your Zen trans, so you would have been completely safe unless Anna got there. Oh, they don't even have an Anna anymore. Yeah, that's right. Just with the Moira. So like, you would not have died out there. Your Zen was transing and you ran away. So I liked your aggression beforehand, but you're not using it on the payload. You're not using it to stop payload. You're just kind of like, I don't know, just going aggressive whenever you feel like it. I don't know what's really triggering your aggression. I haven't seen it yet.
This is not over.
And this guy keeps shooting. This guy is so out of sync with you guys. I didn't realize that Ryan had Shatter. You know, again, if you have Shatter, he probably has Shatter. And then not being out on the lookout for Hook, which he finally did something with his Hook against you. And he definitely had a lot more opportunities to do it. Also, I don't like seeing is you dying and you have 1600 shield. You're not even using shield to protect yourself. So like, I can't even like begin to say like you're not using it for your team. You're not even using it for yourself. 1600 shield, health points, dead. Like you could have just shield and danced back and forth, and hopefully your Ana heals you back up, and then you can start swinging again. So you can use your shield. Especially in this type of situation, you really need a stall.
Still kicking.
Coming at you.
Shield. You just shield. You didn't need to try to charge away, you just shield and call your team over. But again, like I said, you start losing the fight until you have spawn advantage, and then you have team fight. Now, this guy's feeding like a motherfucker and not trying to group up at all. But the rest of your team are basically grouping up, especially your Ana. Like, your Ana is trying to be a team. She keeps saying group up. So, like, that's all you really need to do well as a tank, have an Ana that's willing to work with you. So, which I haven't really talked about, is holding hard corners. So when I said before, just because you guys were getting steamrolled and like you were trickling, it was hard to say like, okay, this is where you need to hold, because no one was, like, you weren't grouped at all. But these corners right here, you want to stand here and shield so that you're covering this corner. You can kind of do this one, but this one's not that great. But basically this type of thing right here, this corners. Look for these corners. It's one of the reasons why people love King's Row. There's so many of these corners you can use that give a great defensive position. Now we have a ball. So you are the main shield now. You are the main shield. You're no longer the supplementary shield to Orisa. You are the main shield. And you've backed off hard. You want to again hold that corner. You don't hold the corner, but then you back up and then charge forward. I don't understand this. A lot of Rhines are like this. They're like slingshots. They pull themselves back and then charge forward. It's weird because your healers, from a healer perspective, who wants to hold that, who wants to help you, when they see you back up, their shield is gone. Oops. Their shield is gone. So they try to back up behind your shield, and then you go far away from them. So you basically make it even harder for them to heal you. It's just, you want to hold here. You don't want to charge. You never want to charge, especially in this type of situation. So if you were to charge, like if I was standing here and I wanted to charge, the only reason I would charge it if there was a player here and I charged them into this wall. Charging into this wall, what happens? when you charge this way, even if you got the guy and he didn't countercharge you, countering charge you actually saved your life, I think. He could have just dodged it, and you would have been standing here, out here. What's here? The entire enemy team is right here, shooting at you. So this puts you way out of position, but if you wait, even if you like, he comes this way and you're here and you charge that way, it's better because you are here with your team. So you don't want to do these long charges. You want short charges. Again, you don't, like, you're not using your shield at all there. So like here, you're at half health. The Rein just shattered. You have no idea who he shattered. I think he got your Ana. I think that's your Ana. That shattered, so your healing gets cut off. Again, 1600 health now. It'll stop the Moira's, not her ult, but her main fire, which I think she's now done with her ult. So she's done with her ult. It won't stop this, but there's a Mei somewhere, there's a Reaper, there's a Hog. That's killing your team.
30 seconds remaining.
It's super aggressive, and then even when like things happen, like a shatter that misses you, you have to think, okay, he missed me with the shatter, but what did he hit with the shatter? Again, hopefully spawn advantage helps us here. Fine, you throw a fire strike at them. It's 100. So a fire strike does 100 damage. And a swing is 75, so you got 2 swings off of them, but if you fire strike them... See how one swing didn't reach them? While you're moving forward on them, like, you could have done 1 fire strike and then killed them with the 2 swings you did hit them with. So when you slam someone, you almost always want a fire strike. I can't think of a reason why you wouldn't. This is over.
I will not give up the fight.
Score 0-3. Switching sides. Initiating match.
I mean, you lost that fight because no one would group up. That's like just the biggest glaring issue, and it's hard to talk about something else when you guys didn't even get an opportunity to show off any other skills, because you would go in and 3v6 them or 2v6 or so you guys didn't even get a chance to make plays and stuff like that, or show that you could position yourself right or something like that. And the positioning normally wasn't terrible. You didn't have as many charges I thought you would as a silver player. They definitely need to be fixed, and maybe that's what happens when you are more grouped up. Let's try to see what happens in this attack phase when the team kind of has a payload to group around. We're going Zen Ana, so they're very susceptible to dive, but they don't have dive. We have Tracer, we have a Diva, so again, you are the main shield. We hear a trap. Okay, we're going Pharah instead of Genji, but the Pharah's not going to have any help. Is that guy going to switch to Mercy or not? No, Genji back. So trap to the left of us, I saw it. surprising. Okay, this is too far. No, the only reason why you really survive is because you've already basically won the fight, so it doesn't matter. But I don't know if you would do this if, say, there was still 6 alive. So let's say instead of holding there, they decide to hold here. Would you still just charge right in like that? I don't know. So the only reason you don't die here is because you're already up by 4. The Reaper flanking behind. You lucky son of a bitch. Again, that's a YOLO charge that leaves your team exposed and gets you killed by the Reaper. And I thought it was going to pay off because you got the Mercy, but that Reaper just carried. So, like, against a Reaper, you need to shield dance and get your healers to heal you while someone shoots the Reaper, unless, like, he's the only thing left and you can swing on him. Like, but you have a diva that can defense matrix, and like, you have a lot, like, you personally are going to struggle against the Reaper itself, but you have so many supporting characters. All you need to do is survive long enough for them to help you out. Like a Zen Discord, an Ana, a Diva Defense Matrix, and like Ana Nade, Pharah up in the sky. Like, you have so many things that can help you with the Reaper, like, that you just need to shield dance and hope, and, well, not hope, call out help. So early, and then it just makes you charge in. Okay, so now, you know, I would want you thinking that the enemy Rein has Shatter, because I just use Shatter. So we know, we can see, he's only now 80 because he hit that Fire Strike, but he's only 80, but let's just, before we start, like, actually analyzing how much damage he has actually done, just, if I've had Shatter, he has Shatter. And you're already 63% back up, which is fantastic, because he did a lot of damage that fight. But let's see, can you try to block a Shatter? Basically. Like, purposely try to block a Shatter. No, okay. See, so I think your trigger is someone did something like an ult. So, like, you charged in when Genji ulted, charged in when your Pharah ulted. You guys got kills, so you're up 1 because your Pharah traded. But you charged so far in, they have a Reaper. And he is melting you, and you're so far away from your team. So you gotta... Where is my charge gonna take me? Can my healers help me once I get there? Will the enemy team surround me when I get there? So these YOLO charges are, like, you know, long shots of trying to nail someone. And the longer the charge is, the easier it is to dodge. And so, like, the enemy team has you surrounded. So even though your team is up, you are the only one trying to fight this right now. So you are actually just 1v4ing, which is at your disadvantage. This Mercy is going to res someone. So you will be down, your Pharah will be down, and you guys will actually have the disadvantage because of this charge. Then trances to save you, which is unideal, but he's gonna charge. He's gonna shatter once he wakes up. Nope. Guess he didn't want to. This is messy. Your Anna's dead now. Wow. Surprised they have not ulted. The reason why they're losing is because they have not ulted. And your team is ulting. Like, yeah, they used Tire, but that's it. They've used Tire. You've Shattered. You've Rocket Barrage. Your team, you Trans, you Nanoed. You guys have used ults and won. So this is what Overwatch is. You have to use ults to win. Otherwise, the enemy team is going to roll you like you are like this. Even in instances where you actually start throwing, ults save you from throwing. And if the enemy team just doesn't ult, you can still win. So this is why you're winning. It's because the enemy team is not ulting. But now spawn advantage is in their favor coming up here. So let's see if your momentum starts to go away because of that. They have 4 ults. We're up. To his none. Can we get a second? No reaction that started behind. Is he behind? Or was that front? We are up. We can kind of try to push. Yeah. So now now your aggression is tempered, which is great because your team was not going to come up with you. So I don't know why the other times you decided to charge. Maybe again it was your DPS being really far forward. I think this guy feeding is pulling you forward. I think that's what's happening. And since he finally didn't feed, you didn't charge forward. He fed. Just push payload, they're giving it to you. Getting it frozen. You're right. Again, he gets a free shatter because we charged away, and they win. But they used all their ult now. So basically, you just want to die now. I mean, group up. Your entire team's dead. Your entire team is dead. This guy is the guy that fed, so it's literally he's like halfway there, but entire team's dead. Just swing and die. Just swing and die. Like you just want to group up. Get your ult charge up as much as possible and die. At that point, now I don't want you holding up your shield right there because you were the last one alive. You just wasted time.
My ultimate is charged. Attack with me.
Okay, that deep defense matrix is there forever, so you kind of just threw it into that. Hold on the flank. The Dio is taking care of the flank. I don't know who did what first. Nice shatter. Get up. Too far. Ryan's behind you. Ryan's like swinging on your healers. You heard him charge behind you, so that like, the healers are having a bad time right now. So like, you do really well. I think you have really do have great aggression when your team is with you and like you're getting pocketed and stuff. I think when things are going well, you're doing very well. I think it's hard for you to realize when you're at a disadvantage though, and you need to shield and start doing the Rein things. So you're great with the DPS stuff. Like I think you do great with the DPS stuff. It's definitely at least plat when it comes to aggression and even fire strikes and shatters and stuff like that. I think you do great with that. But I don't think you know how to pull it back when you're at a disadvantage and you need to kind of shield and do the tanking basically.
Experience tranquility.
Like, can you honestly say I definitely shielded my team at all this game? I shielded my team? Or, like, who have you saved with your shield? What have you done with your shield that has helped a teammate? I don't think you've done anything with your shield that's helped a teammate. I think you've done everything with your shield for yourself. So, like, that's when things are going well and your teammates aren't dying, that's great, because that means your resources are just going for yourself and you're keeping alive and you're winning. But when your team needs help, I don't see you being their shield. That's what Ryan likes to say. Be their shield.
Score 3-3. Switching sides.
But we have more time. You know?
Initiating match.
All we have to do is stall out a first fight and then win. Like, we have almost 3 times as much time as them. It's gonna go a little forward. So we're gonna still do it. Okay, we're doing Rein Orisa. I assume we're gonna hold the same spot because I highly doubt you would have listened to me.
Thank you.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
For optimal chance of survival, stay in the edge of
Yeah,
my
like-
barriers.
You're not even attempting, like, so, like, your team will follow you, almost always. Your team will follow where the tanks go. So if you went up, that indicates, even if you're not in chat, going up top indicates to your team, this is where, as a team, we want to stand. Tanks are magnets like that. They will dictate to your team what you want. So going down here first is dictating to your team that we want to, even if like you're halfway down here and you're like, oh wait, up top it might be good. You've already dictated to your team, let's go down here, and they'll walk down here. So always walk up to the top first, see if your team will come up with you. It's just being in chat and telling people, hey, let's hold up here, and then rotate to this choke here and hold here. Again, lower ranks, I don't know why they like holding way down there,
I'll bail you out.
as
You
shown
have my
from
thanks.
both teams doing
Thanks. You have my
it. They're doing their
thanks.
hog Baptiste this time, blah blah blah. We have a McCree, Farah without the Mercy.
Stop the payload.
We don't really need a shield because Orisa has shield, so we don't need to also take damage. I just let my shield recharge. But so this guy has been countering you all, charging you all the time. You need to learn to do that. Down one. There we go, nice. So I think you learned from him.
30 seconds remaining.
Okay, we just want to die on payload. But we want to get a second fight here. So we need to go on the payload and just die on there. There you go, yeah. Just charge in. Maybe you get something. No, don't back up. Die on payload. Go with payload. You're going to die anyway. See,
10 seconds remaining.
but we want to group up again and get another fight before they get this point. So if you die on payload over there, they got a good 50 meters or so. No, 50 meters. I don't know how many meters. 10 meters. So now, see, we couldn't get there in time. We're close to getting there. So if we die earlier, we probably can hold it. I think we have everyone now. You can't shield a Baptiste ult. And again, see not being their shield. Nope, that's waste because you were the only one alive. So we wasted our ult and we weren't their shield. So I think we're getting a little frazzled here, trying to like now win because it's overtime. Like somehow in these situations, teams get so worked up, like they don't play normally. They keep throwing themselves at the payload because they're like, oh, we need to stop it, because every inch is another inch in overtime or in, extra time. But you just need to play normally and you'll have a better chance of winning. So we threw our ult, and so now we don't have that. We're not tracking enemy Rein ult, and that's what won them the fight, because we got way too aggressive and he just shattered behind us. So you need to keep track of enemy Rein ults. Like I said, if you're like at 80%, that's what the time you should be thinking, does enemy Rein have his ult and stuff like that. So what you could have done to affect this fight, block shatter and shatter when you have a team. So now we just need to regroup. We switch off our with D.Va. We have Barrage. We have our DPS ults, and they don't really have anything. So if you DPS just don't die, we can win here. We have Nano. We can be aggressive. Got Shadow back. Kree's hanging on to his ult. I bet he's gonna waste me here. Nope, just dies. Okay, whatever. We're not going to be able to touch here. Not going to be able to touch here without feeding. What I should say. Nope. And again, we waste the ult. Like when you ult, you need to know like who's gonna kill anyone. Even if you shatter 6 of them, who's gonna kill them? You have one charge to use to get back to the fight, so you know even you aren't really gonna kill anyone. You need to know your follow-up damage to CC ults. So like Grav, Shatter, like Mei ults, and stuff like that. You need to know what is the damage that's going to kill them. Win. Such they don't get on point.
Score 3-5.
So that
Switching sides.
you were definitely flustered for that overtime fight. You had shattered twice, and you used it when you've lost the fight, like when it was like 1v6. And again, you not once were your team shield. So I don't think your problem is really mechanics so much as you're not playing Overwatch. You're playing this FPS game, and you don't really know what Overwatch is. Like, you're just playing generic FPS. Like, I will kill these people with this hammer that somehow I have now. You're not thinking, oh, this is Rein, I have a shield, and I need to shield my team. The enemy team has a Rein, so he has Shatter just like I do, and I need to block it. That will help my team. Yeah, he's going to try to block mine, but he's not really thinking your ult either.
Attackers incoming in 30
So you've landed like every Shatter. But you're not thinking, alright, there's 6 people, there's only one of me. I'm not going to win this. You're just like, oh, I can kill people. You're playing like Call of Duty where you're trying to just get more scoreboard up when the scoreboard is not your kills, but the payload. It's objective based.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Your team's getting frozen by this Mei. This Mei is in your back line, right? Yeah. So even though the Hog got the kills, where did the Mei go? She's back there because she got antied because your Anna had to use nade to help try to stabilize. Look at this. So the Reaper's on us. We're trying to like evade. Mei is trying to freeze us, but both your healers are there too, getting frozen. We're not even moving our shield to protect them. So like, angle it the other way to protect them. Anna's like, God help me, get behind that shield. The Mei is over there. She's on the other side of the payload, freezing your Zen. Yeah, your Zen got frozen. Your Zen's getting frozen. He dies to the Hog, but you can see the ice coming up here. He got frozen. Your Anna's getting attacked. Now, I'm not saying you should be protecting from like tracers and stuff. Like, you don't chase those, but this is a frontline attack that you just let by. So the reason why I'm talking about this, so Rein's job is not to protect healers and stuff from Genjis and tracers and like Sombras and stuff like that. That's not, I'm not saying always protect your backline from these attacks, but this is a Mei coming from the front line, which is what, that's your thing. You're supposed to be protecting from the front line. So this is a frontline attack you just let by. Then they eventually get to you, and you might be wondering, where was my healing? Why did I not get help? And it's like, your Anna and your Zen are like, why are we getting fucked back here by a Reaper, a Hog, and a Mei? Not a bad idea, but you are so low anyway. Looks like what's going to happen, and this is Silver. Like, that Rein has not been paying attention to Shatter at all. You could have just waited for this fight to use Shatter, I think. Like, I don't hate the idea. It's just you were so low, and it was a higher risk than you needed to take.
60 seconds remaining.
Finally blocked the Shatter. Fantastic. You can use your shield to block yourself being frozen. Especially when she balls you off, you need to dance. So what's destroying you is these flanking people. This Hog, this Reaper, and this Mei is flanking your team. Like, your Anna switched because she's getting screwed and not getting help. This is the stuff like you need to be paying attention to. So like, you can't get super aggressive until these flankers are really taken care of. Otherwise, you leave your team high and dry.
10 seconds remaining.
Or your whole team gets aggressive while they try to flank and like release you or something. You have a Zen, stuff like that. So like,
Overtime.
like now we have a Pharah. So really, I would just be trying to protect my team
You have my thanks.
and let the Pharah do most of the work. Your Anna can really help against with defense matrix healers. But more you have Mercy. So now flankers can't really do anything. Now they're going to be coming after you, these flankers. These flankers now have a target of you for free. You need a shield, that stuff. Okay, so, I mean, it ended right there. So, you really don't know shield dance. So that's the one mechanic you really are not doing, is shield dancing. Where you hold up a shield and back up, jump back up, and like block, and, you know, they're going to try to get around on the right side, so you turn right and block that way, and then they try to get on the left, you could turn left, shield dance back to your team. That's something you have not done at all, and it's the Reaper and the Mei it's really good against, and you did not do once at all. So I would try to use my shield for retreating backwards to save your life. That's something that really, really, really is something you need to fix there. Countercharging to stop the enemy Rein from charging you or anyone on your team. You did it once, and it happened a couple other times, but I don't think you meant to. Your shatters are landing, but it's because you're in silver, and neither you or the enemy Rein are thinking about the other team's shatter. So think about enemy Rein shatter. If you have shatter, he probably has shatter. Shield management, like I said, I don't think you're using it enough. Like normally people hold it for too long, and like it broke once, and you don't want it to break. But like what I'm saying is you're not using it at all. And normally people hold it for too long. You're not using it at all. You're not thinking about your team in the context of Overwatch. You're just you're charging in and swinging around and not really playing Reinhardt in an Overwatch setting. You're playing DPS with a hammer. Other than that, like, I mean, your fire strike's obviously could be more accurate, but that's really nothing I wouldn't care about until, like, you're way higher. Yeah. So, you need to be a tank, first and foremost. You need to shield your team. You need to think about your team and what they need you to be. Position yourself with the team. Shield dance. Learn to shield dance. And what was the other thing? Play group up. Like, when you're 1v6, do not just shatter and waste important things. Just die on payload and stuff like that when you're losing. And if your team is losing the fight, don't go in and just feed as well. So, I hope that made sense. I hope that helps you out. And good luck next time.